everyone, I've come to hide upstairs to introduce this vlog. It's a school day and the kids are mostly ready, and once I've finished filming this I'm going to go and take them to school before starting my day, which begins with an orthodontist appointment. So I want to bring you along. I shan't take you into the room. If you see my previous videos you'll know that. I'll just give you a sort of what happened summary afterwards and a bit of a live chit chat, but yeah, it's you know, it's a medical thing, and so I'm not going to take you in with me. But what I did want to do, so we are a year into this experience, I wanted to tell you where we're at right now, and then, as I say, bring you along to the appointment so that you can see when I talk to you afterwards what kind of things happen, just sort of how I feel about it, how we're progressing, because I know that you guys have been finding this really, really useful. I've made 2 videos already, one just sort of around when I started wearing braces, so I explain what the situation was with my teeth, so I'll put that below, and then I think I've got one more, like a 6-month in video, so those are below if you want some more details on that sort of stuff. But if you are new to this, to my little series here, in a nutshell, I had crowding on my bottom teeth that was uncomfortable. My top teeth overlapped a little bit but weren't too bad, and I had a like a overbite where my top teeth, when I bit down, covered my bottom teeth. So that was one of the issues. So yes, we are a year in. I think I got my braces February last year and it's now mid-March, so it's around a year, and I'm going for one of these regular appointments where they change the wires, they change the elastics and check everything that's going on. As I say, they're about every 10 to 12 weeks. This one's slightly later. One of the issues I have is that my orthodontist is only at the dentist's once a week, and so, well, like the whole orthodontic team, I think. I'm not totally sure on that, but I have to go on this certain day when the main orthodontist is there, and it gets really booked up, so it can be quite hard to get that when they say, oh, 8 to 12 weeks. Often I can't do that, and then I'm 14 weeks or 16 weeks. So, but it is what it is with having someone who's quite popular. So, you know, that's in itself, he's pretty good. So, hopefully. So, right, so where are we at? So last that I spoke to you, I would have been having the clear elastics on my top set. So again, for anyone who's new, I have white ceramic braces on top and metal on the bottom, and I was having the clear elastics, and I found that people really didn't see that I had braces. People would come up to me and go, oh, you've got braces, because they hadn't seen, they were pretty invisible. However, I was having a bit of an issue in that the clear elastics get really stained. So I tried not having any coffee and no like curry or anything with any strong sort of colouring in, and even if I was really, really, really careful, I was still getting really stained elastics by the time I went for the next appointment. It's raining outside, if you can hear that. It's a loft extension up here, so it gets pretty loud. So I was kind of doing things like, well, I'd allow myself a coffee a week because, you know, but I felt like I was not eating or drinking these things and then still the elastics were getting stained. Perhaps a bit slower, but they were still really stained. And by the time I went in for the next appointment, I was almost embarrassed, and I'm sure obviously they see it all the time, but it wasn't as if I was having loads of stuff that I shouldn't. And I was getting really self-conscious in that last period of time before the elastics were changed, that this was because the elastics were this really horrible grotty yellowy brown, made my teeth look yellowy brown, and so I was sort of trying to cover them and not really smile, and I thought, this is stupid. So the last time I went, sort of 2-3 months ago, I think it was 3 months ago, I said to them, can I have steel wires instead? So it's still not very obvious in that, because it's still the ceramic braces. The actual elastic, sorry, I meant silver elastics was what I meant. But it's just got the silver around the front. They are more obvious than they were, but frankly, I don't really care anymore. I'm glad that they're less obvious than they would be if they were this sort of train track brace, as it were. But yeah, so I now have silver wires. I'm so much happier with that. And I said to the orthodontist, so what do I need to do in terms of eating and drinking? And she was like, it's fine, do whatever you want. So it means that I can have coffee again. It means, you know, curry. And so we've had a few, I don't want to have loads because I'm aware that it could stain the teeth outside of the brace over that long period of time. But just the odd thing every now and again is really nice. So that's that situation. And I still have bite blocks, which if you've seen the first video, I moaned about. I really hated them. I really struggled to eat. I now forget they're there. So they're at the back. I probably can't show you. Oh no, maybe. Can you see by my finger? That bit stuck up. So that's just to keep my molars further apart so that I don't bite off that brace. Do you see how much my teeth overlap? So that's what that's all about, and also to readjust sort of my bite and things here. I would like them to take them off, but I don't really think about it. When I first had them on, I just thought this is unendurable. If you'd have said to me then they'll still be on in a year, I would have just said take the whole thing off, I can't do it. Within a few weeks I had completely just wasn't bothered by them, and as I say, right now don't care. If they leave them on, that's fine. So there's that. The bite blocks, if you are getting those, they're hard at first and then just they're fine once you've sort of just got used to them being there. But the biggest thing that's being checked today, which is the thing I'll be checking in with you, so one of my molars, they discovered, I think it was at my second checkup, I think they didn't notice it the first time, then on the second one they did. One of my molars is on the wonk. So again, I don't know if you'll be able to see it. It's back here. That one in front of the bite block is not in line. So I don't know if you could see that the line down the middle of the molar is sideways. So they've been trying to move the teeth. So first of all, they tried to turn it and it wouldn't turn. So then they're trying to move the teeth either side of it apart so that it can turn. And they don't seem to be moving very much. So what they've done, they've put a spring, that's the word I want here. Can you see that? So they've taken off the bracket on the tooth that they're trying to turn, and they've put a spring over that area. That initially was quite uncomfortable. Again, I'm used to it now. It wasn't terrible. And the spring is supposed to push those teeth apart. I don't think it's really doing anything. So I think that them trying to turn this tooth is going to massively extend the amount of time that I'm wearing braces. So they've predicted 2 years. I would not be surprised if this goes on because they are really struggling to get that tooth to turn. I understand they want everything to be straight. I don't really care. They could leave that tooth wonky. I'm not bothered about it. But so today they'll be having a look at that and seeing whether it's ready to be turned, I believe, and whether they put another bracket on it again and then they sort of put a power chain on it and turn it, I think. And they did that before, it just did nothing. Or whether they need to try a different spring and push those teeth apart more. So I don't know right now. That's my phone. I don't know right now what they're going to do there. So that's going to be the main thing. These teeth are pretty straight and these are pretty straight. So I think it's now all about adjusting the bite. But they can't do very much until this tooth is sorted. So I do think that's added a big delay. And then as well, I can't necessarily go as regularly as I am supposed to. So things get pushed back a bit more there as well. I wouldn't be surprised if this takes 2.5, 3 years. And I am so glad that I haven't got like, oh, I'm going to, let's say it was 2 years and then I was going to have a big party. Like I'm coming up for 40 and that was one of the thoughts was, oh, it'd be nice to have this sorted, but actually it's going to be mid braces and that's fine. But if I was like, let's say if I was getting married or something and I wanted my teeth sorted and I was looking at it going, oh my goodness, this is going on, that would be worrying. I'm not bothered. And I would say if you are doing that, getting your teeth sorted before a big event, that it would definitely be worth discussing with your orthodontist that that is an issue and how realistic it is that everything will be done. But as it is for me, if it takes longer, it takes longer, and the braces don't really bother me anymore, so that's good. So that's kind of where we're at. That's your update. I have got some running around and quick jobs to do before I take the kids to school, and then I will check in with you before I head off to the orthodontist. But that's your kind of update. So see you in what will be mere moments for you and probably about an hour for me. I'm here, I'm on time for once. I'm looking forward to finding out what the progress is. So yeah, a pleasant morning. Everything went as planned, which is always nice. And my dog knocked this camera off of my desk. I was charging it and it appears to still work, so that's a bonus as well. Anyway, I'm gonna head in. The orthodontists, dentists is just behind me. They do both. And I will check back in with you and let you know what they say. Right, so I am back in the car. That was fine. It was half an hour, so not too bad, but they had to do quite a lot. Normally I'm out of there quicker. The good news is the teeth either side of that molar have moved apart. I didn't think they had, but they've moved enough. So I have like the lady that I see, and then there's like a main guy who comes and checks. So he sort of came in and was like, yeah, I don't know the job titles, but yeah, he comes in and sort of goes, yeah, I agree with you, that's fine, you can now start to move that tooth. Yeah, they put a bracket back on that one, the one that's wonky, and they've attached power chains to start to move that, and taken off the spring. So they did all of that. They've put new thicker wires on. The top one felt really thick and sort of tense going on, but actually feels fine now. It always feels a bit sort of odd when they're first on. Everything's like the sort of pressure and tension is in different places, but that all feels fine. They also did a hydrosonic clean on the bottom, and said, you know, if I can make sure that I use the little brushes more, that's fine. It is difficult, obviously, where your teeth are so close together, to sort of make sure that that's always as clean as possible. So I will pay more attention to that. I do use a water pick as well, and I have an electric toothbrush, but yeah, I will add to that. So it's good that they cleaned that as well, so that that's not going to start causing any issues to my teeth. So sort of preemptively did that. So yeah, that was it, a hydrosonic clean. Power chains, new wires. I've gone for the silver elastics on top again, because that really suited me to not have that staining. I'm happy with that. So all good. Another appointment in 10 to 12 weeks as usual, and hopefully that all means now that it's progressing, because they've managed to turn that tooth, because that's been the main thing for the last 2 appointments. So yeah, really happy with how it's going. I'm really happy so far with the decisions I made in terms of the orthodontist that I'm using, the fact that I've gone braces rather than Invisalign, because for me that was needed because of the sort of bite issues I have. Everything is really good. Now, what I'm going to do, they said that, people walking by me, they said that because they had just put this bracket on not to eat for an hour, so I'm going to do that, or not do that rather. And what else was I going to say? Oh yes, because she said that there might be some pressure because of putting that bracket back on, and actually when they put on the top one, I you know, was aware that it felt more sort of more pressure, more, it feels quite sort of like a thick wire, and in the past that has given me sort of tension type headaches. I am quite prone to migraines and things, and so preemptively, rather than end up with a migraine later and struggle with, you know, all the kids stuff in the evening and end up going to bed early. I'm going to take some ibuprofen now. For me, that tends to ward things off if I'm going to have any kind of headachiness from that, and I guess it helps with like any inflammation or anything like that. I don't always take any painkillers. My last appointment was fine and no discomfort or anything after it, but this one could end up with some of that sort of tension around the jaw that can run up into like my head. So I'm going to do that. That works for me. Obviously that's different for everybody, but I am quite prone to headaches. I'll also make sure that I drink plenty because that also helps to ward off any headaches for me. So that's where I'm at. I will probably check in again, same sort of thing, in another 6 months. I think sort of 6 monthly updates will work. So who knows what the situation will be then, but hopefully right now as I make this video, hopefully I'm halfway through. I don't know that for sure because things may have been delayed a little, but that would be really great if this is the halfway point. So yeah, all good. And I am going to take a leisurely drive home, and then I am going to film another video, which is the one going up today as I film this. And this vlog is going to go up next week, because that's the plan. It's the next day, it's Saturday, and I just wanted to film a sort of update to what I said yesterday. So today, it is a little bit tender. It's not painful, I haven't had to take any painkillers, but it is just noticeably tender. I noticed when they put on the top wire that there was a lot of pressure, so whatever they're doing I think is shifting my teeth around. What I would say is that if you're having one of these sort of redoing, re-putting the wires on kind of appointments, make sure that you've not got anything really important the next day or next couple of days. So this appointment was meant to be just before, was it meant to be just before the book launch? Something like that. And I thought, no, best do it, you know, on a free weekend. Exactly because of this. It's not bad, but if I had a really busy day, it would be annoying. So, and the area where they've put the power chains on is also sore, and I can't clench my teeth. It feels like there's a gap between my molars. I mean, it seems wild that it would actually move my teeth that much, but yeah, it feels like things have sort of moved and are a little bit tender. But fine, not painful, not, you know, just like, oh yeah, I can feel that. Anyway, I just thought that I would update that little bit. Thank you for watching, and yeah, I'll do another one of these in about 6 months. Take care.